Breaking news that you first saw in a push alert from our mobile app overnight.
A local high school football coach is now sitting in jail accused of soliciting a student for sex. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy live from the Metro Bonding Office for us this morning. And Dan, we understand you just got some new information from the school.
That's right. When Weldon Garlington eventually bonds out of jail and after he has his court appearance, he's not going to have a job to go back to. We've just heard from the school, Republic High School, it's a local charter school, that they immediately fired him upon learning of some inappropriate messages that he had sent a 17-year-old student at that school. This morning, he remains behind bars on a $100,000 bond as this investigation continues. This is a picture of him from several years ago when he played football here in town. Garlington was arrested last night after he confessed to police to having sent some inappropriate Instagram messages and later some text messages to a 17-year-old girl at that school. Apparently, according to this affidavit, he asked the girl when she was going to turn 18, if she had ever been with an adult, and also offered to reimburse her gas money to drive to his apartment, and the next day texting her saying, just essentially forget about everything I just asked you. Garlington is in jail now on a $100,000 bond and charged with solicitation of a minor because of her age and because no physical contact was ever made. That is a misdemeanor. Again, we had reached out to the school and just got a statement from them within the last 5 minutes. To recap, they have now fired their football coach, going on to say in the statement, this alleged behavior is totally unacceptable and will not be tolerated. We will always act urgently on any concern. Reporting live downtown, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Breaking overnight in Hermitage, teenagers in critical condition this morning after he was shot in a drive-by. Police say this happened just after midnight near North Lake Shopping Center on Old Hickory Boulevard. The victim's girlfriend says a car pulled up as they were leaving the parking lot there. The 18-year-old man was shot in the face. His girlfriend drove him to Vanderbilt, where he's now in surgery, listed in critical condition. Officers say they did find shell casings near that shopping center.
Also overnight, we are working to find out whether charges will be filed against the driver of this car. Police say he was going 100 miles per hour when he hit a curb and flipped in the Styx sculpture in the roundabout at Korean Vets and 8th Avenue. The driver crawled out on his own but was taken to the hospital to be checked out.
We have a lot of breaking news this morning, including this: an Antioch pizza restaurant targeted by a robber with a gun. News
Channel 5 Sophie Nielsen-Colding is working this story for us live at Dominos on Hamilton Crossings. And Sophie, it's so interesting how this guy was able to get inside this pizza place.
Because this armed robber didn't walk through the front doors. He actually was crouching below that drive-through window over there, hit the drive-through bell, which employees heard, and then one of the employees walked up to the window, and that's when the armed robber popped up and pointed a gun in his face, and then he climbed through that window, and that's how he got inside the Dominos. According to police, the robber pointed the gun at the employee, told him to open up the cash register, and grabbed a bunch of the money and made his way back out of the drive-through window and got into a car, a white Toyota Camry, which police say someone else was driving, the getaway car. Now, luckily, nobody was hurt. This happened just before midnight. Not a lot of people around, but these guys did get away, and police don't have a good description of them. The robber had his face covered, had a gray hoodie on, black pants. So just a scary ordeal for the people who were working here late last night. Police are possibly looking through some surveillance video tonight to try to identify who these people were. Live in Antioch, Sophie Nielsen-Colding, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Sophie. A deadly police standoff surrounds the disappearance now of a Nashville woman. You see her right here, but her family is not giving up hope. 46-year-old mother of 3, Letitia Lane, has been missing for 11 days. Her loved ones gathered Wednesday at Nashville's Bride of Christ Outreach Ministry in prayer. Letitia's sister says they want closure because the family of her ex-boyfriend, they have closure.
I'm asking anyone to speak up with any information, to bring her home, whether good or bad.
Lane's ex-boyfriend was apparently the last person to see her, and he was killed during a standoff with police days after she disappeared. Her family is offering a $2,500 reward for anyone who may know where she is.
The mother of a Murray County toddler who died 17 years ago is promising to cooperate after a second autopsy ruled the little boy's death a homicide. It follows a News Channel 5 investigation that began more than a decade ago. The medical examiner now says Jeffrey Kelton Skaggs' death was a homicide. His mother and her boyfriend at the time claimed he fell and hit his head on the rail of a bed. District Attorney General Brent Cooper tells us the investigation is continuing. He says the search for justice in the death of Kelton is not over, and we are undeterred in our effort to bring those responsible to justice. Meanwhile, the attorney for the mother, Brandy Edelman, says the family will continue to cooperate fully with the efforts of the District Attorney General's office in this extremely emotionally difficult situation. You can see the original investigations by News Channel 5's Phil Williams on our website. Just go to newschannel5.com. And new information this morning as investigators are studying a 25-minute video. They say the Austin serial bomber left on a cell phone, and they're hoping it leads them to a motive. They say it's a confession where he details the differences in all the bombs he made. Authorities think that he made the video just before he blew himself up yesterday morning. As SWAT teams got closer, the Fed searched his house for hours yesterday and found bomb parts. And an update back here at home on a deadly motorcycle crash involving a Brentwood police officer. According to state troopers, Officer Seth Witt was driving south on Franklin Road, and 45-year-old Anthony Peters was on his Harley-Davidson going to the opposite direction. Investigators say Peters crossed the double yellow line near Longstreet Drive and slammed into the patrol car. Peters was killed.
Developing this morning, at least 3 Murray County residents have died in just one day, and authorities believe a toxic mixture of illegal drugs may be to blame here, possibly heroin laced with fentanyl. So far, no arrests have been made in that case. Well, is there such thing as too much help? Tennessee's Attorney General says local lawsuits are getting in the way of his efforts to fight the opioid epidemic. Herbert Slattery told 14 district attorneys general here in Tennessee their suits against drug makers impede his ability to reach a multi-state settlement. This comes about a week after those attorneys general said Slattery is attempting to undermine their own litigation.
And frustration at the state capitol over medical marijuana. Debate on the legislation was just beginning in committee yesterday when time simply ran out. Outside the bill's sponsor, Representative Jerry Faison, didn't mince words.
My God, you got to be a special kind of stupid to not realize this helps Parkinson. Are you not opening your eyes? This whole notion, and I hope you'll put this, the whole notion that this is a Schedule I drug, you are a special kind of ignorant human being. If you think this is still a Schedule I drug, that means there's no value to human life. Holy smokes.
Debate on the issue will continue next week. And a popular Nashville brewery is moving. Yazoo is putting its Gulch property on the market. The city's largest brewer has been in its current location since 2010. The brewmaster told the Nashville Scene that they've outgrown their space on Division Street and they're looking for a new location.